And I think this has got probably the most worn out struts I've ever seen on a vehicle. And I was going to bring it to a garage and let them do the struts and stuff, and then they were saying right away, well, they wanted to do the wheel alignment on it, and it kind of makes sense. But I think there's a way to do it, or at least close enough that I don't have to do the alignment. So I've got some struts, I got them really cheap, and so I'm going to put them in myself, and I'm going to show you guys how I can kind of get around that wheel alignment cost by just, you know, setting it up back the way it was, or at least real close. So this is an older Toyota Corolla. Tires are still pretty good. So this strut has 3 mounting points. There's actually the top one inside the car, and behind this little section of seat here, I've got the top of the strut is mounted here, and then the bottom of the strut has 2 bolts, one right there and then the other one right here. So between those 3 mounting points I should be able to get the strut out. And I already have the brake line loose because it attaches to the strut assembly. And so to try and avoid the cost of a wheel alignment, what I'm doing is I'm taking a reading of the camber before I take it all apart. So you can see where I've got it mounted. So it's right on this hub. Okay, I got this side strut out. And I thought I was going to need a spring compressor, but I won't need one after all. This spring is just kind of pushed up against the body, and as I took the strut out, then the spring just kind of fell out. So that's a good deal. Makes it easier. But once again, I tell you guys, this is the most worn out strut I have ever seen. Watch this. It's just completely, like, there's no oil in there. It's just all complete, you know. You guys that know about shocks, you know what kind of damage I'm talking about here. Okay, so I'm going to change over this rubber bump stop, put that on a new strut, and I got this rubber pad here where the spring sits on. I'll change that over to the new strut, and then start getting this back together. Alright, well, with the struts in, the right side turned out to be pretty much exactly where it was before. If there's a difference, it might be 1/4 of a degree, so that turned out fine. And look at the tire tread. So this is the tire that came off of that right side, and to me it looks like it's wearing pretty evenly right across the whole face of that tire. So on the left side I'm out 2 degrees, and it looks like the tire is coming out on the top, so that's what it's doing. And so I could adjust this, but I'm going to have to pull that strut out again and elongate the holes just a little bit, like with a file or something. But here's what I found on that tire. So look at the tread on this. So this is the inside of the tire. So remember now that what I've got now is it's going to be leaning out a little bit more than it was before. So it's going to be putting a little bit more weight on this side of the tire than it did before. So here I can actually see the inside of the tire is wearing a little bit more than the right side. Can you see that? See the tread there? So I've got 2 degrees now to lean the tire that way. Put a little bit more weight on it like that. So you know what? I'm going to leave it and run it like that. I think it's going to be good for that tire.